Okay, hello everybody. Finally we got this to work. I do not recommend Hypercam. Get Camtasia. Welcome to my first FL Studio tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm just going to teach you the basics, how to use, I guess, FL Studio 10. How to make a song is what I'll teach you how to do. So let's just start off on a clean slate. Go to File, New from Template, Minimal, Basic. Not the one with the limiter, just without the limiter. Wait for that to load. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and explain what each section or each of these things do. This is our pattern. This is our our pattern area. Sorry, I'm having trouble talking. This is our pattern area, and this is where we will make the pieces to our song. Okay, and over here is the playlist. This is where the magic happens. This is where we put all the pieces together to make music. It's wonderful. Down here is the mixer. This is where we mix things. Yeah, we add effects, we change the audio levels. This is our soundboard. Okay, our virtual soundboard. Here's where our tempo. Okay. Just click and go up and down, and that will determine the tempo, beats per minute. Isn't that great? We're gonna stick with 130. Okay, so right here we have kick, clap, hat, snare, and we're just gonna make a basic drum beat. So we'll just do one beat per bar. Just go ahead and click on every fourth, so it sounds like. Yeah, nice. And let's go ahead and add some claps. Great. All right, and we'll add in some hats. Now, I've selected all these. I'm going to show you how to delete. You just right-click on the ones you want to delete, and you can instead of doing that on each individual one, you can actually hold right-click, and that'll delete all of them. But for now, we're just going to leave it like that. Cool. And let's add a snare. Alright, great. We got our first beat. Isn't that awesome? Okay. Our first pattern done. We got our drum beat. So you can click right here where it says pattern 1. It says pattern 1, and all this crazy stuff comes up. Okay. All we want to do right now is rename and color. Well, you don't have to color it. We're just going to rename it drums. And I'm going to go ahead and color it. To color something, to color the pattern, this won't color this thing's color. You just click on this little thing right here, and it brings up this list. We're going to go with red. I'm going to make that red. That'll be great. Okay. Now, we have our drums. Let's go ahead and make it a bass. So you click on this little plus sign, or the circle with the plus in it, and another naming thing comes up. We're going to name pattern 2 bass. Sorry, I'm talking all funny today. Right here it says File, Edit, Channels View. We're going to click on Channels. And we're going to add one. We're going to add 3XOSC. Had to make sure I was saying that right. Now, in order to make individual notes, so it's not just like, yeah, you don't want that. That's not going to make $1 million. You're going to right click on it, choose piano roll. Alright, this brings up our keyboard. This is where we're going to put up our notes. So let's go down to A2, and I'm going to go with the bass line A, D, G, C. There we go. That's a really common progression. But let's hear how that sounds. Yeah, there we go. Really simple. You can click on this thing right here and scrub through this. Now, that won't really... I don't like to use it that much because it doesn't really let you listen to how it sounds. But, some people do. Okay. In order to, I'm sure you noticed to change the length, you just click on the end and drag it. We're going to look at our tools up here. This paintbrush, I like to use the paintbrush a lot. If you notice with the drawing thing, the pencil, you have to click each time. And that could get pretty tedious if you want to make little 16th notes, you know, like that. So in order to save yourself a lot of time, you click on this paintbrush and hold down and drag. See, that's really awesome. All right, let's get rid of all those. You know, there's delete. It's not really necessary though, since right-click deletes. Mute. I don't use that. Slice. Okay, this is really cool because let's say I want the bass line to be changed up a little bit. I want to add in a couple notes so it's not just, you know, one long boring note. Let's go ahead and we'll cut that up. Cut these like this, and we'll just change the. I'm gonna put this as a E. I'll put that. No, I don't want that an E. I want that as C. It's starting to sound like a. This is like a classical bass line. That wouldn't be D. That'd be. There we go. I'm having trouble. All right, there we go. A little bit more interesting, isn't it? So that's pretty cool. You know, you can play around the slice tool. Zoom, you know, lets you zoom in, see all the little details. I'm using FL Studio 10, so if you're using like 8 or 9 or 7 even, it's not gonna look exactly like that. You can also push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That also zooms in. Not 6. That's a note. But yeah, so interesting stuff. So we have our bass line. Let's go ahead and click this plus sign again, and let's make this one melody. We're gonna make a melody. Now let's say we want this to be on a separate instrument. Okay, let's say we want the melody to sound like a different synthesizer. So you can right click on this and choose clone, and that'll make a number 2. Okay, and there's a reason I'm doing this. You'll understand a little bit later. But let's right click on this, and we're gonna rename this melody, and we're gonna rename the old one bass. We're gonna give them. Let's go ahead and give them a color. I think bass should be a dark blue or violet, whatever color you want to call that. Oh, excuse me. Make this one light blue. All right, cool. So we're on melody. Let's go ahead, just make a melody. I'm gonna make a generic one. It'll be kind of, I don't know, silly, arpeggiated. It'll sound kind of lame and generic. But that's what this is all about. My lame and generic music. I want that to be a D. Having brain lag here. Oh, a useful thing. If you're, if you have, a longer note like this, you want it to be a shorter note, instead of doing that, to save yourself like half a second, you can actually click on previous notes. So let's say this one was to 3 spaces, 4. Let's say I wanted to, I just wanted to switch between these really fast instead of dragging each new one out. You can actually click on them, and it will make that length appear. It's really helpful. Helps speeds up the process. So let's continue making our melody here. Nice fluffy melody. So let's see how that sounds. There we go. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. All right, so we have all of our pieces. What do we do now? Okay, so go over here to your playlist. We're gonna put our pieces together, and right here on this drop-down menu, where we named drums, bass, and melody, we're gonna click on drums. Make sure you have your paintbrush selected. This is gonna make this process a lot easier. Just click and drag a few instances. We're not gonna make this very long. Go down to bass. I want the bass to play, after the drums come in. The melody, I want that to come in after the bass. All right. So, in order to play what's in the playlist, right over here next to the play, stop, record button, there's pattern and song mode. We're in pattern mode. That plays what's in this pattern. You click on song, and it will play what's in the playlist. So let's hear how this sounds. All right, there we go. We got a slamming new beat. Yeah. Okay. So we have that down. Now let's go to the more important parts. The mixer. You want to make sure everything's not crazy loud. You can control the volume and the pan of each instrument over here, but this is where you can control your levels and change your effects. The reason why I had you put the melody on a separate instrument than the bass is so we can add different effects to each one. That will be awesome, won't it? Okay. Now, since we started with a template, the kick, the clap, the hat, the snare, they already have their assigned tracks. Okay, in their mixer. They each have their own assigned mixer channels, I guess I should say. So our bass and our melody have none. See, right here it says FX1 on the kick. On the clap it says FX2. Alright, well, on the bass, we're going to make that FX5. Alright, and on our melody, we're going to make that FX6. So, when this plays, you should see all of these meters rising. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Okay, now you can adjust the volumes of each one. Like, let's say we want the bass to be a little bit louder, the melody a little bit quieter. Maybe we want the claps to be louder. Okay, and then over here is where we add our effects. So let's say we want to add like a flanger onto the bass. Just go to Fruity Flanger. You click on this little arrow right here. Click on Fruity Flanger. I'm not going to go around with these settings and presets. Oh, that's a little bit loud. Let's go ahead and lower that volume. Alright, and let's add a chorus to the melody. You can click on these little green buttons right here. You can click on that, and that will mute the effects. And then this slider right here, or this little knob, that changes the volume, how much it's applied to the instrument. So if we wanted that a little bit on there, we could have it. I don't really like it. I just threw that on for fun. There's reverb. I'm not going to go too much into all that. I just want you to get the idea of what we're doing. Oh, and you can also click on these little effects buttons right here, and that will turn the effects, all the effects on that channel on and off. So that's pretty helpful. If you're using a whole bunch of effects and excuse me, and it's eating up all your RAM, and you want to hear how it sounds on a certain instrument, you just click on that, and it'll turn off all the effects. It's really helpful. And that's pretty much it. That's the basics. I could have easily put all this on one pattern. I just chose not to. I don't like to do that. I like to put everything on different patterns. Not,